All right. Okay, it takes me, tremendous pleasure. I have the tremendous pleasure to introduce the next speaker and the next presenter, and Dr. Sophia, uh, who is over the years we have formed a very close friendship, and we have become very close friends. And Sophia is the coordinator of the Peace Masters program at Jomi Premo, Universitat Jomi Premo. And in fact, it's a course that got me interested in peace studies, I should say. And in 2008 was the first time I visited Castellón and met Sophia, and our friendship started to blossom ever since then. And every year I get a chance to catch up with Sophia and all my colleagues in Castellón, and we have such a wonderful time together. And now, lucky Sophia, she is actually sitting in her summer house that I had a pleasure of visiting and spending some fantastic time. And she, in fact, very patiently also taught me how to cook paella. And she makes, one of the best paellas that I've ever tasted. And the last time we were together, we were together with Gloria, Sophia and I, and we had such a wonderful meal, and we had a lovely walk after that. So without taking any more time, Sophia, please tell us a bit more about the program, the Peace Masters program. And this is something that the Deep Network is in collaboration with the Peace Masters program. And as well as I should point out to you that in fact, most of the members of the Deep Network are alumni of the Peace Masters. And we also have a number of current members, current students, I should say, who are members of the Deep Network. And so is Sophia. Sophia is also a Deepster.
Of course.
Okay, thank you, Sophia.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm very excited and happy to be here and to be able to share my research, my experience with all of you. I'm sure I will learn a lot from you all. And as Alberto was saying, we have a long friendship since maybe 10 years ago that he's coming to teach in Universitat Jaume I of Castellón, Spain. And the most important activity we are running is the Peace Master, as Alberto told you. It has a 26 years trajectory, and it has become an international referent on peace studies, because the teaching is in English as well as in Spanish. So we can receive more or less students from all over the world. And the program is beautiful because is to be able to be agents of peace around the world from our daily experiences. So we are capable to do it, but we have to learn. So this program try to give us these capabilities, knowledge, and empower ourselves to be agents of peace. And one of the beautiful things are that we offer a few scholarships to bring also students, to bring people from impoverished countries, from developing countries, let's say. So we have also these voices from another countries, from the south, from countries on conflict. So they give us a lot of knowledge also in the classrooms. First voices, not just from the West talking about how bad is the world or how good is the world. So we have the chance to listen the others in the first voice. And one thing is now is open a call for one scholarship. One is just one, but it's 6,000 euros, and maybe one of the attenders, the participants, can be able to get this scholarship. Idam and Ari has the information, but also you can write me an email and I can give you the link I think it's open until September the 5th, September 5. So we have still 1 month to be able to apply and prepare a good application for getting this scholarship. I will be very happy that maybe one of you can be there in the classrooms. And apart from the program, I'm teaching in the pedagogy department. I'm teaching on the area of didactics and education. And my topic of expertise, let's say, in what I have my passion is on peace education. And this is what I wanted to share today with you. It's my first time I give a session on Zoom, so you will have to be a little patient with me if I have some mistakes or I have some doubts how to manage with this Zoom program. But I think we can understand each other, we can enjoy, and we can have a lot of fun too. A part of learning, we will enjoy and have fun. That this is very important also in education. Are you ready to start?
Yay!
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So we can also use chat if you like to use chat, because we can use different ways of communication. You can raise your finger, yeah. You can use chat, or you can also talk by the microphone. Before I start, I have prepared two very small exercise to warming up a little bit. So if you are ready, I will tell you the first exercise is that all of you have to look for something yellow and bring it here to the screen. Something yellow color. Okay, guys? I'm going to look for my yellow thing. I'm back in 1 minute as much. Okay, yellow things. Very good. Please tell me what have you found. Have a yellow pencil one.
I have a yellow pencil.
Yellow pencil, perfect. What else?
I have a yellow highlighter as well.
Ah, very good. Have it too.
A huge bag.
Oh, bag. Hey.
I also have a
No, I am.
yellow
Hello,
bag.
Sophia.
Tea bag.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a black box.
No. Yellow.
I have a yellow label.
Very good.
I have some yellow elephants. Yellow elephant.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I have yellow sticky notes.
Very nice.
Yellow diffuser.
Very good. What else? Nothing else? Yellow. It's a difficult color.
I have this cloth yellow.
Ah, sunscreen.
Yellow scarf. Yellow color in my scarf.
Beautiful. Something else?
Tissue box.
Ah, perfect. Finish? No more yellow things? Okay, so this is mine, my lemon.
Okay,
love
lemon.
I love lemon, so I find a lemon in my fridge. Okay, so we have found a lot of different alternatives for the same solution, no? Let's look for the second thing. Now we have to find something red and small. Okay, 1 minute, please.
I like these games.
Hola, cariño.
I have red shoes, but I'm not sure if it's too small.
It's okay.
I have the red
It
manicure.
depends on what.
Cover of my mouthwash. It's small and it's red.
Oh, very good. What else?
The red manicure.
Very good. What is this? A Debola?
I have a red sticker here. It's a
Red
sticker.
sticker.
Yeah.
Red pen, red sticker. What else?
Red notebook. Red lipstick.
I have a red pen.
Lipstick. Pen.
Red lipstick.
I also have a piece of red plastic.
Plastic. Very good.
Yeah.
Red
I also have
water
a red case. I have a
Beautiful.
red case.
Red perfume bottle.
Oh, beautiful. What else we have?
Red pen.
Red pen. Good. Something else? Red bottle cap. White cup of tea. Okay. There is no more red thing. This is mine. It's
Red
like
box.
Red box.
a red box. It's like a boat made with paper. My 7-year-old son made it the other day. It's beautiful. Small, no? Because it's a boat, but a small boat. So this is just two small exercise to warming up, but I would like to hear from you what this small exercise bring to education, bring us, for what is useful to do this kind of small exercises. I would like to listen your ideas.
Can I go first?
Of course. You can raise your hand, you can write in the chat, you can...
Okay, no, I would like, soy doctoranda en la UGE, en el programa de estudios internacionales.
¿Ah, sí?
Bueno, sí, por
No
eso
te
te digo,
conozco.
prof, ¿cómo que no? Y también hice mi máster en rehabilitación psicosocial.
Ah.
Pero yo soy libanesa, porque por eso no me conoces.
¿Y cómo te llamas?
Vale. Lilian
Lilian.
Akiki. Vale. Okay, I will continue in English for the others to understand. Okay, so I was telling her that I'm a student in la Universidad Jaume I. The thing is, first of all, Sophia picked the yellow and red. Those are the colors of the Spanish flag.
Very good.
Okay, red is my favorite color anyway. So I would add that this is something to pay attention to small things that usually we don't pay attention for. Like we would not look every day for something yellow or something red or something like that. So I think this exercise is to bring into attention things that we have in common.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have been reading in the chat that is to be inactive. So this is very important also in education, being active, being brave. What else? Alia?
I think I'm Tuba from Pakistan here. I think these type of exercises make student attentive towards the course, towards the facilitator or a teacher.
Yes.
That is my point of view. It make you, like you said, active and attentive to the class.
Of course. To be active, to empower ourselves. Who else?
And also create the atmosphere of collaboration and cooperation.
I cannot hear very well to you.
I said, and these type of exercises create the atmosphere of collaboration and cooperation between the students or the people who doesn't know each other, like us. We really don't know, but like these type of exercises, we knew who are with us.
Very good, very good. Cooperative, having a group. Adebola.
Yes, thank you. I have learned there are so many things within our confines that we don't notice these until they are very important, and they come in color. For example, I have my bead, my traditional bead here, which is red. I just look back and I saw it in my hand. I have this on my neck as a chieftain's title. I'm a chief, so that's the color of my beads. And I got to know that so many things are on my table that I do not many times noticed, but I have learned to be observant. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Adebola. What else? You can write me in the chat, you can talk.
I think this is creating a sort of unity, sense of unity. We have, I mean, I didn't have red around me, but you know, we have something in common across the world.
Very good. This is perfect. Somebody want to add another issue?
Yeah, this is Abdullah. The purpose of this exercise is to activate ourselves and to come our minds, with an intention, for the coming lecture or for the session, for the coming hours.
Very good.
I want to say something also. Yes, it's something that we can do it to active ourselves like energizer, but at the same time we choose the red color and the yellow color because the green is, for example, for the peace, and we need to look for the countries that they have problems, that they are even in red colors, that they need more attention for them, and like the medium also, that we need also to take care of them on the yellow phase. And this is what I think.
Very good. Something else?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Okay, so may I speak?
Ruchi, you can speak. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was breathing. Yeah. So like I feel like it brings out our inner child from us, because when we are grown up, we are so busy that we can play from the simplest object also. So like I feel like we should enjoy and like to and you should bring out our inner child, and that happiness and smile to we can create from small object also.
This is very important. Yeah. It's like enjoy, be happy, looking for small things, colors, like to find our inner child. No, that may sometimes when we get adult, we lose this inner child that is very important for peace education.
All the time we have been in serious mood, and it lightens up, and it kind of gives us energy, rejuvenate ourselves.
Okay. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else?
If I can add on something that I wrote, I think the activity really makes us see that there is more than one approach or perspective when it comes to one thing being discussed, since you mentioned about, oh, find something that is colored yellow or find something that is colored red. Different people have different views on how you see these activities, but for me, I see that it sort of shows that people will try to find like some similarities into answering the question, because the topic itself is being discussed. Is for instance, if we're talking about red, we're trying to find some similarities in that. I hope that relates. Yeah.
Very good. I also read in the chat that it's important for also for participation, because there is no wrong answers. So everybody can give their opinion, their voice, without fear to have mistakes. So it promotes participation, freedom, respect, and also connectedness, unity, as we have said. I also like to do this small exercise to learn to think, learn to find, look for solutions, empower ourselves, be critical also, because it's small, it's big, and to promote or to foster autonomous thinking, and also be creative in finding alternatives, because maybe if you have seen that one person already has a red pen, you look for another new thing. So we have to be creative, and also this to be more close to the others, be confident, and form a group, a group of friends, let's say. So these small exercises are important on peace education and on the daily education to start any activity. So now we can start with more with the PowerPoint, with the theoretical part before this warming up. Okay, so we can put the PowerPoint presentation. Sofía, te voy a poner el desayuno y tú puedes jugar con tu tablet. ¿En serio? Sí, pero tienes que estar muy bajito. Sí, pero muy bajito. Sí. ¿Me conoces? No. Okay, I'm here. Okay, my session, as I told you, is on peace education. On my PhD, my director told me that I have to think about something original, something to promote something new. Or so I was thinking one day, what can be original? What can be a new thing on peace education? So I find out a proposal, and I call REM proposal. REM means reconstructive empowering approach. And this means that this peace education approach tries to reconstruct our human competencies to make peace, because we are able to make peace. So we have to reconstruct these capabilities and competencies to make peace. And also empowering, because we have to put those capabilities on action. in our daily experiences, in our personal life and in our work, in our neighborhood, in our friendships. So we have to empower ourselves to be agents of peace. And that's why I call REM approach, constructive empowering approach. And also because the REM phase, or when we are sleeping, this REM stage of our sleep is this creative part of our dreams, our ideas come true. So this also I like it, no? This REM stage. Be creative, dream about another world, dream about peace, and these dreams may help us to put it into practice. I don't know how to move the presentation. Okay, I wanted also to start with a very simple question, but also very important and sometimes very difficult to answer. What education means for you? Can you give me some ideas? You can write it in the chat if you want, so I can read. What education means for you? Getting knowledge, very good. Lifelong learning, this is very important. Have to learn from all our life. Freedom, discover new things, knowledge sharing. What else? Intelligence and emotion learning, very good. Practical communication skills, life, learning, acquiring knowledge through a systematic way. Education is a sort of liberation, very good. The construction of information, very important. Pool of knowledge, way of empowerment. Transmission of knowledge. Blacksmith of mindset. Very good. Train the mind and build constructive intellect, construction, very important. This is all at the moment. We have said many important things about education. Now we'll pass to the other slide because it's a definition of Maria Moliner dictionary. Is a Spanish author who I like her way of describing concepts. So Maria Moliner said, is a bidirectional process through which knowledge, values, customs, and way of acting are transmitted. It is present in all our actions, feelings, and attitudes. So we see many important things, not only knowledge, but values, customs, ways of acting, feelings, attitude, way of being, very important, ways of seeing the world, and also creating new ones. Not just see, you see, and you are able to create new knowledge, new worlds, new dreams, new hopes, and prepare people to be part of a society. So prepare people to be part of a good citizens, to be part of this society, and to put our effort to create a better world. So all these definitions in Maria Moliner, I really like it. That's why I wanted to offer you. The next slide, please. Now our reflection, because as I like in education, it's very important this bi-directional process. It's not just the presenter has the knowledge and I try to put in your minds. No, no, no. I'm going to learn a lot from you. So that session will be always reflection about what I'm saying and what you are saying. So the first question I would like to ask is, do you think that the education that we have inherited and institutionalized corresponds to the definition that we have just commented? Do you think peace education is promoted? Some interferences. Do you think peace education is promoted in our systems, or on the contrary, there are violence in the educational systems in general? I mean, there are very good also educational systems, but just in general, what this educational system we have inherited. And can you tell me some examples if do you think there are violence in the educational systems? This PowerPoint presentation will be available for all of you in the course website. So don't worry, you don't have to write it down because you will have all the information and also the resources. I always like to offer you some additional resources that we cannot see today because of the limited time, but you can also later, you can go to these links. There is a video of Pink Floyd.
I can, maybe I would like to answer the question.
Okay.
Okay, for the violence within the educational system, yes, indeed, they are. For example, I would like to mention two examples here. First, the corporal punishment. For example, the teachers, when they are having a bad behavior, or the student that cannot answer a particular question, then they will just hit them with a stick, for example, which is currently our corporal punishment. And the second one is the bullying that can be perceived or act by student, or also by the teachers to the students. So yeah, it can happen, or some parents to other parents, if it is in the elementary school, for example. So yeah, it's a bullying behavior. That's type of violence that can arise in educational system. Thank you.
Thank you. You can also write in the chat, or because as I don't see you now, I don't know if somebody wants to talk. So you can also write in the chat, or if you want to talk, just talk. For me, it's perfect. Do you think there are violence in the educational systems? Patriarchal, masculine, there is direct violence. What else? No diversity, undermines diversity. Grading is a violence, for, of course, for selecting purposes, selection of people. This education doesn't exist in a sense of learning system. Very good, all your contributions. What else?
I would like to add something that is important. It is the access to education, which is in lots of countries, underdeveloped countries. This is a problem also. Although people would want to get to education, but they don't have access for socioeconomical problems or things like that. This is also, I think it's important to mention, no?
It's very important. Access to education is violent because some people cannot have the same right.
Exactly. It could be like physical discapacity. For example, like schools or institution of education are not set according to the physical discapacity, or so that they cannot physically access, or socioeconomic problems, poverty, and all of that, that they cannot pay the fees of education.
Yes, it's very important what you have said, Lilian. Thank you.
De nada.
More ideas? In the chat, or I have seen many important things. So education is not receiving, the curriculum is not peaceful, the contents, the methodology. So we have many examples of that the educational systems are full of violence. That's why I wanted to first of all learn to visibilize, to recognize those micro-violence or big violence. It depends. There are many different violence now we'll see. So it's important, first of all, to learn this violence in order to deconstruct. For peace education is very important. For the REM approach of peace education, it starts with the visibilization of violence, to learn to recognize those violence, because sometimes we reproduce those violence without being aware. So that's why we have to be aware of those violence. And to work on these ideas, we can see these three kind of decolonized mentality rather than create individuals. Those ideas are very important, what you have said. And to work on these ideas of the violence in the educational system, we can see the video of Pink Floyd from 1979 is very, very good, very powerful. Then Ken Robinson, who has passed away last year, is very important in 2011. And also Prince Air, he was a singer, a rap singer, and he has a very important video also from 2016. So you can work on these videos to see more example of the violence which are created from the educational systems as a social subsystem. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is an image of the same idea we are talking about. Is from Tonucci, Francesco Tonucci. Is an Italian pedagogue. He's also an illustrator, so he likes to draw, to draw, and also he is a very important on peace pedagogy. And he created this image from 1970s, but still we can find a lot of similarities in our educational systems today, in our current educational systems, despite the fact that it's almost 50 years, 51 years. And we can still find what Tonucci wanted to express about the school machine. So even if it's in Spanish, here, say, material didáctico is like school materials, school resources. Here said garbage, in these desechos, garbage. Here said carrera, bienestar, cultura, dignidad, say the studies will bring you welfare, culture, dignity, and power. And here at the end said, be good citizens, society is waiting for you, for those who finish, no? Society are waiting for you. And here in the bottom say, it is forbidden the entrance to external people, parents, families, so those external people cannot come in this system. So you can check the image, and you can also write what kind of violence do you find according to the educational system, what you see here and related to the violence created by educational systems. You can give me some feedback. What do you see here in this school machine created by Tonuki?
I can see it's very llamativo. They enter as different shapes and young kids, and they leave as prototypes, all same, like tak 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 tak.
Very important. Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
What else? Somebody say indoctrination. What else?
I think state uses education as ideological state apparatus. That means they use it for their personal agenda.
Yes. Very good. What else? We see many, many things. Come on. Production of machines. Very good. Monotony. Production of machines rather than humans. Of course, robots. Very good.
Like brainwashing?
Yes,
maybe?
Brainwashing. Killing the creativity. Very good. Killing the minds. Template of a broken system, of course. Yes, the students are discarded as trash. Those who are not adapted to the system, they are garbage. And this is the exclusion that still are in our educational systems. Hanging your children and discrimination, of course. Exclusion, discrimination, instructional, the materials are equal for all. Doesn't depend the diversity. Killing subjectivity, killing the rights for the children's rights, of course. Very good. Have you seen hierarchies? Anti-environmental. It's like a machine, no? It's like no diversity mind. It's like an enterprise, a fabric. Production of slaves to serve the capitalists and imperialists. Of course, very good contributions. There is one who, let's say, the director.
I think am I interrupting because my electricity went off during the session? Can I speak? May I speak?
Machismo, of course.
I think the school system is like a factory where you put raw material and the finished product is like same product is coming out from the factory. Raw product is totally different, but the finished product is same.
Yes.
That I think schools like a factory or something where things are.
Yes, the same functioning as a factory. Yes. And then become manufactured products, all equal. And if you see, it looks like all are men.
Yes.
Because the women doesn't need to get education, no? Very good. What else?
Desechos means disposal.
Desechos, garbage.
Garbage, yeah. I found that part is also important. So lots of people are coming out as a garbage.
Of course. Even though they are intelligent, they have the right to education, they are excluded from the system because maybe they cannot adapt to these rules, to this homogenization. Traditional power structures, very good. So we have said many important things that I wanted to come out to the reproduction of violence of our educational systems. That even though this image is from the 70s, we are in 2021, we still have those reproduction of violence. So we can pass to the next slide. Schools are designed as factories. Yes. Very good. Can we pass to the next slide, please? Okay, so we have said many things that I put here in this slide. Indoctrination, individualism, passivity, demotivation, homogenization, competition, exclusion, ideological interest, consumerism, products, repression, neutrality, objectivity, and in some, violence. So this is like a collection of what we have been saying. Next slide, please. So just to conclude, the traditional education, formal school systems, as a social subsistence reproduce the three types of violence proposed by Galton, which are direct, structural, and cultural. When I studied my Peace Master in UGI, Castellón, Spain, I found out these three violence of Galton, and I was very impressed because as I studied before education and pedagogy, I find that these violence were reproduced in the educational systems, but before I didn't realize that. So I wanted to make it clear, to make people aware of that, to make students, to make families, to make professors and teachers, in order to be aware of that and not reproduce anymore those violence. Try our best to foster another education that we can do. We can find different alternatives. We don't have to reproduce and reproduce and reproduce what we don't like. So this educational system is understood under the narrative passive paradigm, Martin Gordillo. This means that always the professor or the teacher is the who has the narrative, no? The words, the knowledge, and has to fill in the student's mind. And this is not good on peace education. And in this educational system, traditional educational system, a student play a passive role. So we have to overcome all these issues if we want to educate for peace. And Freire called this traditional education banking education. In words of Freire, means banking education means that as much as the student absorb this knowledge of the professor, much better student will be. And the professor, as much as transmit the knowledge to the students, much better professor will be. And this we have to overcome all these issues, because in peace education, we learn from each other. We create a community of inquiry, of dialogue, of interpellation, of learning from each other. The professor has some knowledge which share with the students, and the students has also a background, a knowledge, an experience, a concrete life, and a legacy to also to offer to the rest of the students as well as to the professor. And among us, from interpellation, we learn two ways of learning, as said Dilawar. So these are very important issues to be aware in order to deconstruct. We are not offering this violence just to reproduce, no, to deconstruct, to overcome. So let's pass to the following slide, please.
Excuse me, could you please speak a little bit more about narrative passive paradigm?
The paradigm means narrative is the power of the professor to talk, to speak, to say. And the passive is the student who are just listening and absorbing the knowledge and the words of the professor.
Clear, thank you.
It doesn't matter the opinion of the student, their knowledge, their backgrounds. The only important is the professor who teach and the student learn. And this is not bi-directional process. So we have to break those process of unilaterality. The professor has the truth, the knowledge, has also knowledge, but to share, not to feeling like it was empty mind, no? So this is this paradigm, narrative and passive. Narrative is the professor and passive is the student.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can interrupt whenever you wish. So just to structure in these three dimensions of violence that Galton proposed, direct, structural, and cultural, I have some examples, no? Reproduction of direct violence. In the school systems, we put labels, disparagements, insults, punishments, threats, cries, exclusions, use of power and force. You can see those things. Structural, hierarchies, verticality, power abuses, unequal relations. The educational is meritorious, competitive, ethnocentric, classification, and cultural violence, reproduction of gender roles, prejudices, xenophobia, racism, maintenance of the hegemonic power of the status quo, supremacy of the rational technological paradigm, of having versus being. So we can find in the school systems all this violence. Sometimes are small, are micro violence, but anyway, we have to identify those violence in order to deconstruct. Deconstruct from if we are students, deconstruct, if we are professors, deconstruct, if we are families, if we are directors of a school. So we, from our experiences and from our daily experiences, we have to try to deconstruct all this violence in order to teach peace, to make a new paradigm of peace education. So we can pass to the next slide, please. Okay, and it's not just in the formal system, because the education is important in the school, but also it's very important the education at home. So also not only at home, but also from friends, from the mass media, from the community, from the neighborhoods, from the associations we pertain, from the groups we are, for example, sport groups. So from this informal and non-formal education is also very important to be aware of this violence, because also it's reproduced in the informal and non-formal context. And also we have some, here I put you some resources work on these ideas. There is one video called Not Now, Bernard. I put the link. It's very, very good, this video. Mariana Sandwich, we will see this video later, a little bit later, and the video Children See, Children Do. So I encourage you to see those videos and to reflect about also what are doing from the informal and non-formal education. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so just to concluding the violence part, there are 3 ways of understanding violence: direct, structural, and cultural, and 3 ways of understanding peace as alternative to these 3 dimensions of violence. Is negative, will be the alternative to direct violence; positive, the alternative to structural violence; and culture of peace, the alternative to culture, structural, and direct. So the aim of peace education is to create cultures of peace, not just to avoid direct violence, that is also important, to avoid structural violence, that is also important, but to create cultures of peace in which neither direct, neither structural, neither cultural violence is promoted or is reproduced. So let's go to the next slide, please.
Excuse me again, could you tell me about positive peace and the culture of peace? What is the difference?
The positive is more related to the structural peace, but culture of peace, it includes all the 3 dimensions: direct, structural, and cultural. Do you understand?
Okay, so the positive is
more related with the structural violence.
Oh, structural violence. Okay, sure.
Yes, yeah. But the culture of peace is one step forward. It's also including direct and cultural, because the 3 dimensions are very important to avoid, to be able to avoid, not just 1, 2, the 3 of us.
Thank you.
Okay. So, as we have been also saying, this inherited education we are reproducing is based on the neoliberal capitalist system, the market laws. The education is understood as a merchandising, not as a right, as we can see, as we have seen in this image of Tonuki. The educational centers looks as factories, enterprises, and students as customers. And is more based on a scientific technological approach where feelings, emotions, talents, differences, they are not important. Is this narrative passive paradigm based on that? And is banking education, in words of Freire, that doesn't refer to be, is more referring to having knowledge, having merit, having diplomas, having good curricula, having, but not being. And this is very important to recuperate the being, no? And peace education is focused on being. Okay, so we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so now we'll start. Before I wanted to make you aware of this violence, to deconstruct. But the important thing on this session is to teach peace, to be able to make a peace education in the school systems. And peace education is not a separate course, is not a subject that we have to attend once a week. Peace education is a way of doing education, is doing education in the daily life. So peace education is, for me, I understand peace education as education in itself, because education has to go with peace. We cannot teach, we cannot reproduce violence, but education goes with the hand of peace. So peace education from the REM approach, as I understand, is based on a humanistic, constructivistic perspective on the human beings. Educational centers are understood as democratic spaces, as a community of inquiry. Education is a right, is a tool for a positive change on the person and of the society. Students are valid interlocutors, are critical, creative, have ethical thinking, and the aim is to create active citizens to promote cultures of peace. As I told you, I call REM approach because was my proposal of the PhD, because reconstruct our human competencies to make peace and empower ourselves to do it in action, to do it in our daily experiences. It's a dialogical participative paradigm in which dialogue and participation is the keynote of the education. Dialogue and participation. Through dialogue, through peaceful interpellation and active participation, we can create knowledge among all of us. And peace education refers to values, to be. So this is the alternative to the inherited education. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Okay, and as I said before, the REM approach of peace education focus on the deconstruction of the three types of violence proposed by Galtung: direct, structural, and cultural, either informal, and non-formal education. So this is the main focus, to deconstruct the violence and to reconstruct peace. Next slide, please. Okay. The REM approach takes as a starting point the hypothesis that humans has capabilities and competence to make peace. We can make peace. It's a very simple statement, but very important. And also that is very important is the clue for peace education. We, human beings, we can make peace. We are able to do it. So we have to reconstruct our human competencies to make peace. Now I'm going to stop and we'll see one small video. It's just few seconds. And we can talk about this video, okay? So we can visualize a video first, one.
Hay gente que nace dispuesta a ayudar a los demás. Hombres y mujeres que más tarde o más temprano acabarán siendo voluntarios de la Cruz Roja. Ayúdanos.
I found these videos on internet, and we don't have to pay attention on the commercial, no? If it's Red Cross, if it's a newspaper, if it's a brand or something. I just wanted to focus on the content of the video. So what have we seen in this video? Can you give me some feedback by chat, by talking?
I can start.
Yes, of course.
I do believe that even if the children, they start like from the ward, but everyone wants to support each other's, and he's going out from the comfort zone that they have, and he got emotional and wants to help the others. And this is the part of this, because all of us, it doesn't matter if we are in a war or not, but all of us at the end of the day in the same word, we want the peace for everyone, and we want to support each other's.
Of course, we have seen many important things. We have emotions, Empathy, we want to help the others.
Yes.
We want, since we are kids, what else? Empathy, compassion. We can make peace. Peace is possible. We have said many important things. What else?
Abdullah here.
Yes.
To me, yeah, from my understanding of the video, that it is very important to start, educating, the young children, in the early ages. Not only because what creates peace or empathy or everything, we have to establish the base and the fundamental issues. So that's my understanding.
Yes, this is very important. We have to start from the childhood. Peace education is a way of education from families, from the school, from the kindergarten, from the friends. So we have to start as soon as possible. What else? Peace is possible. Peace can bring with different way. What else? No more opinions? Empathy is innate, something that we are born with. Of course, this is what I wanted to highlight. What else? Nothing else? The baby haven't have prejudices. Very good. Baby haven't, child, kids hasn't prejudices. They are more inclusive. It highlights the debate nature and nurture. This education starts from childhood. Now it's very important in this pandemic, start to teach for peace education. Okay, so we can go on. So we can make peace among us as well as with nature. No. I haven't finished yet. Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have read or you have learned about the Seville Statement from 1986. In this statement, it was confirmed that human beings, we are not determined to be violent. Violence is more an issue of learning from society, learning from education, learning from mass media. But we human beings have the power to make peace and to transform our conflicts by peaceful means. We have the same capabilities to behave peacefully or violently. Our response depends in a long run on the education we receive. So humans are responsible to create one kind of behavior and not other. And taking this sentence into account, we highlight the importance of peace education. If we have a good peace education, we will be more peaceful, because violence is learned through socialization, through indoctrination, through socialization, through education. So that's the importance of teaching peace, of peace education. And peace education, understood from the REM approach, is the reconstruction of these abilities and competencies that we have seen in the video. This is the reconstruction of our human competencies to make peace. Because when we are kids, we are peaceful. We have very good values. We have no prejudices. We are not racist. But later on, instead to be better, we start through the process of socialization, acculturation, indoctrination. We start to learn the violence, the competition, and so on. That's why we highlight the importance of peace education. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so peace education, we understood peace education. We cannot read it very well. As an integral process in which many different aspects are taken into account. Feelings, emotions, rhythms, personalities, talents, and it's a holistic process which goes from the micro to a macro level. Peace education has to start from ourselves. It's a micro level. Sometimes in the literacy is called intra-peace, personal peace, intimate peace, internal peace, interior peace. This is the first level, but then we have to make peace from our personal also and daily experiences with our families, friends, colleagues, neighborhood. From the literature is called interpersonal or social peace. And later on, if we have these two levels, we'll be able to make peace with the rest of beings as well with nature. And this is macro level. This is called also Gaia peace in the peace studies. Now we'll put again another video so I can stop a little bit talking, and I would like to listen to you after watching the video. So let's see video 2.
No te pedimos más de lo que puedas dar.
Respect, breathing love, emotional, care of the others. We are saying many things. What are the positive aspects of this video related to peace education? Solidarity, empathy. What else? Understanding, empathy, try to find solutions. Very good. Compassion, very much. Acceptance, selfless, generosity, sharing. What else? So this video shows what are we talking about? These human competencies to make peace. So the girl cooperation, grounding. So the girl has her own empowerment to make peace, to very energetic and have the ability to do in early ages. This empowerment to reconstruct our human competencies and put it into action, so giving support, put it in the other shoes, acceptance of diversity, compassion. So this video shows us all these aspects that we are talking, that we have as a human beings competencies, but we have to empower ourselves to put it into action. And the girl tried to do it, and she's very small. So if she can, we can. All we can. So this is important to be aware. And also the video shows us creativity, because she has created her own way of doing her own piece. No, she maybe thinks, how can I help my brother? Or so she found alternatives to overcome conflicts in a peaceful way. This is also very important on peace education, to overcome conflicts using alternative, using peaceful alternative. And we have many different alternatives, but we have to look for them to empower ourselves, to be resilient, to have a good will to do it. Okay, let's go to the next slide to conclude this part. Okay, we'll leave here and we'll put one video now. Mariana Sandwich. Mariana Sandwich, I would like that if you can put English translation or English subtitles. It's very visual. We don't need to listen really, because it's very visual. But if you listen some words, you will find you will find more aspects, more connection, more knowledge, and more relations on what we are talking about. And we'll leave this slide here that we will start later. Every educational action may respond to these three questions: what, how, and where or when. So the peace education REM approach, taking into account an article of Alicia Cabezudo, is a very important pedagogue. Also is a friend of us from Argentina. Now he's living in Colombia. And Malrus Haberlus, he's from Sweden, I think, or Norway. I don't know really. I put this article in the website. It's Rethinking Peace Education. And we have I have take this approach from this article, that every educational action may respond to these three questions: what, that will be the contents of peace education, the key concepts of teaching peace; how, which methodology we can use, peace pedagogy; where, when, which context we have to create when teaching peace education. But now we'll see the video. The video has a duration of 10 minutes. And then I have been 9 minutes, I think. And then I have been told that we have to do the break time. Later, we'll discuss the video in different rooms of 6 or 8 people each room.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll see the video. And later, I have been told that we have to do the break. This is El Sándwich de Mariana. Maybe we can translate into English.
¿Y tú, Mariana? ¿No vas a salir?
Sí, maestra.
pasó, Pitufina?
Por favor, hoy no.
Por favor, ay, no. El sándwich, idiota.
No.
Que me lo des, babosa. ¿Que no entiendes? Dame el sándwich. Es mío.
Toma.
Tiene mayonesa de la buena. Más te vale. Ya sabes lo que te pasa si no me gusta. Uy. Ándale, apúrate a comer que se te va a acabar tu recreo. Sorda.
Ay.
Bébete. Quítate. Claro, llegamos muy rápido. Bye, Isa. Te hablo rato. Bye. Oye, ¿me puedes aplaudir?
¿Qué andas viendo, imbécil?
Busco pegamento. ¿Tienes?
¿Qué pegamento tiene? Ahí no hay nada. ¿Tienes un diario? Ay, qué cursi.
Dámelo, Raquel.
Ey. Me gusta Juanpis, pero no sé qué decirle. Dile que te quieres casar con él. Nada más que no puedes porque te apesta la boca.
Raquel.
¿Qué es esto,
¿Qué?
¿Que le quieres dar besitos al Juanpis? ¿Dónde está el brillo?
Es mío.
Es mío. ¿Dónde está el brillo? ¿Dónde está? Estás muy chiquita para estas cosas, ¿no crees?
Dámelo, Raquel.
Ey, ¿quieres? ¡Compra!
¡Niñas! Ya, Raquel.
Es mío. Alcánzalo, André. Alcánzalo.
Es mío y lo sabes. Raquel.
¡Vas, carajo! ¿Qué le estás haciendo a tu hermana?
Nada.
¿Qué traes en la mano? Este es mi brillo. ¿Por qué agarras mis cosas? ¿Tú crees que con esto te va a hacer caso Enrique el de enfrente?
No es cierto.
Ay, pobre. Primero haz dieta, ¿no? Ve cómo estás. Eres una floja. ¿Sabes? Es más, vas y me recoges todo el cochinero que me dejaste en el baño en este instante. Está tu ropa, hasta el burro de planchar. Órale.
¿Ahorita?
No, ahorita es ahorita, porque yo no tengo por qué estarte aguantando tus porquerías todo el santo día. Mira nada más. Ordenas el closet. Tiraste todo. ¡Susana! ¡Ahí voy! No sé qué tienes en la cabeza tú.
¡Susana! ¡Susana! Susana, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo
Perdón,
que no está
Mario.
lista la comida?
No me dio tiempo.
Ay, sí, no me dio tiempo. Pero te dije o no te dije que tenía que irme a la
En 10
oficina muy
minutos,
rápido
te la
para
caliento
una...
en 10 minutos, Mario.
Ay, sí, en 10 minutos. Ya no me da tiempo
Bueno,
para
te la
nada.
pongo para
Déjalo,
llevar.
babosa. Ay, sí, para comerme la fría. Para el caso,
Dame
me
un
voy a una
sándwich, ¿quieres
fonda.
un sándwich?
Que no me da tiempo, que eres estúpida o qué. Lo que no entiendo es qué estuviste haciendo toda la mañana. Te fuiste a la estupidez esa de los pilates con el instructorcito este.
David ni siquiera fue hoy.
David, ¿y qué? ¿A dónde se fueron? ¿Te fuiste con él?
No
¿A dónde?
sé, ¿de qué estás hablando,
¿Esto qué es,
Mario?
¿Te lo dio él? Para que te veas muy guapa, para que se den sus quicos aquí muy bien. Perra, eso es lo que está pasando. Se la estás dando al naquete, ese es lo de hoy. Jefe, ¿qué tal? No, para nada, lo dejé con Normita. ¿Cómo que es el anterior? No puede... No, digo, perdón, señor, digo, es un error, lo corregimos en... No, no vaya a ser eso, jefe, no se lo dé a Ramírez, no es justo. Yo llevo 10 meses trabajando en esto, señor. Jefe, hago lo que quiera, lo que usted diga, por favor, se lo ruego, se lo ruego.
Ahora Isa sí se pasó, ¿eh? Claro que no, la maestra es una exagerada. Es que ella sabe que no debe hacer eso.
¿Te castigaron? Obvio. ¿Qué no ves? ¿Qué quieres? Te traje un sándwich. Tiene mayonesa de la que te gusta.
Okay, so now we have the break time and later we'll do the rooms to discuss because this video, from my point of view, has a lot of things to discuss and to visualize. Later I will tell you, but we'll work on groups in 2 questions. What violence we see in the video? What violence we recognize? Okay?
Hello again.
Sophia, you
can go now. I think it's the time. You are still mute.
Victor, you still muted, yeah. Unmute.
Now it's okay?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Hello, my friends.
Hello.
Hello, hello, we are here.
So now we are going, we are still now we are going to create different rooms of 6 people each, and we will discuss 2 questions. What violence we see or we can recognize in the video, which kind of violence, and what are the positive aspects of Mariana's behavior to overcome the violence, to overcome the conflict, to make peace. These 2 questions. Okay. But now we will divide among groups of 6, and we'll have 8 minutes to discuss, and then we'll come back all together, and maybe one good idea could be that one of each group will be the speaker to
thanks.
To say what have you discussed among the different groups. ¿Vale? So we are ready for the groups.
So we are ready to divide into rooms, Sophia? Okay, so
I think so. Are you ready?
Okay, so they have already they have the question already, right? Okay.
Yes, 2 questions.
All right. So we will.
Do you understand?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I think okay.
Okay. So see you later. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, here.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Have we all come back from the private rooms?
Yes, we are done with.
Okay, so we can go on now with the discussion.
Yeah. We are returned. Yes, of course.
Because it's important also in peace pedagogy to work individually, in small groups and in big groups. So the discussions are richer and richer, from the individual to the small group to the big group. And we are learning from each other and adding new knowledge, changing from the private, from the individual to the small group to the big group. So I would like to listen to you about these 2 questions we have been discussing about the Mariana sandwich video. The first question is what violence we could recognize, we could identify in the video. Who wants to start?
think Dating had a very good idea about that answer. Dating, I'm sorry, but it was a very good idea.
Still her Dating.
Hi, hello.
It's about the first question, like what kind of violence?
Yes, which kind of violence we could identify.
What I mentioned in the group discussion is like everyone's like, you know, behaving like they are being oppressed, but also they are practicing at the oppressor, which is kind of related to direct violence, structural violence also, as well as counter violence, I think, especially in the bully case. Like everyone's like, you know, the other kids just don't care about that little girl was bullied. So that is what I understand is like one kind of cultural ignorance.
Yes.
So 3 types, they all appeared.
Very good. The 3 types, yes. Who wants to add something else? Who would like to?
Yes.
Hello.
I would like to represent my group.
Okay.
Yes, from the video, and according to my group, according to John Agaton, who is the father of peace studies, we could see a kind of display of the 3 types of violence in that video. You could see element of structural violence, you could see element of cultural violence, and you can also see element of what's the third one. But precisely, we concluded that the lady was more influenced by cultural violence. And we also ascertained that it tells us that conflict is not biological. It is more of a cultural of a thing, because the environment where you live influence your patterns of behavior. And the girl habituates in an environment of conflicts, bullying, family rows, and so many things. But yet, she was not inherently influenced by all this. If you see Thomas Hobbes tells us that what human nature is inherently conflictual, but the power to maintain peace still lies in us inherently as well. Mariana was able to sustain and maintain peace with her friend. She studied the scenario and she was able to buy out her peace. She was able to habituate in peaceful coexistence with her colleagues in the school by virtue of the standard she presented. But basically, patterns of behavior is often induced as product of our immediate environment. That was what we learned from the video. And so it was more of a cultural thing. It was more a product of the environment, the family, and the school environment as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Very good contribution. Who else want to add? Another group?
Yeah, representing my group. Okay, for my group, okay, Sarah Alvina mentioned there was violence in the family, so it's already very stressful for the mother that needs to cook, wash, and also do household chores. Then Ina Safina mentioned that the girl bullied her friends, so it's actually a family issue that passed down to her. Then it was already showing tons of anger. The father has job issue and again venting out anger towards the mother and her directly. So for Nikita, she mentioned that the mother being directly beaten by the father, then it was actually passed down to the daughter due to secondary trauma. So it then passes down to her friends. She was victimized. So they were actually trapped in the cycle of violence. So Saddam Hussein is saying that the family household is actually especially the father is using power in the wrong way. So they actually need the family is actually using power in the wrong way. So the girl actually need to find out the source of the violence. So yeah, that be all.
Very good. Very important what you have said. Another group, please.
Can I share from my group?
Of course.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So from our observation, I guess we'll go through by questions. The first one, what is the violence that we recognize? It seems most of my members and I notice how there's bully, there's physical violence, there's mental torture, there's abusive relationship, there's domestic violence, and it all comes from the attitudes coming from the parents. And it is a chain reaction, as what my friend have already mentioned. It seems as if like the actions that is happening at home is being reflected by the bully at school. And we can see that the actions are infectious, knowing that the bully doesn't know which maybe she has some sort of distortion on which is good and which is bad, which is to be followed and which is not to be followed, right? So we understood that that comes from the home setting itself. However, Mariana, the girl, noticed that the issues that is coming from the family, yet are still being able to make sense about it and try to help, or even showed compassion towards the bully by giving her a sandwich. So that, I believe, answers the second question on her positive intake on how to handle these issues as a whole. And that comes from our group. Yes.
Very good.
Thank you, Doctor.
Very good. So who would like to add something?
Doctor, I would like to add that we should not see from the physical or the outer of somebody, not by being blaming or being prejudiced to them. Maybe we need to have a like active listening and try to get to know what's behind this behavior, although it is not acceptable from our culture.
Yes, very important. So, somebody wants to add something? Any group, or all of the groups have been already talking? So we have seen the three types of violence: direct, of course, structural, because in the house, as you see, the boss do violence to the man to the wife to the big daughter to the second daughter, and the second daughter transmitted in the school to a student who is younger than her. It's so like hierarchy. And then also cultural, because we see gender roles and we see acceptance of violence as a cultural thing. And also we see that some other people is watching but don't doing anything to transform the violence, to transform the conflict, or at least to just say, I'm not supporting this violence. No, they don't say anything. This is a way of supporting violence as well. And what are the positive aspects of Mariana's behavior? We said compassion, active attitude to transform the conflict. What we have saying more? What are the positive aspects to Mariana's behavior?
I think research.
What?
Research.
Okay.
He accepts that he bear that violence or that behavior of that bully girl, but after that he didn't make any impression of that girl. She goes for the research at her home and watch there is a violence is happening, and then she make her impression about that girl, and then she react.
Very
How
good.
can we can solve that problem, and we can in the international level that how can we bring peace to the world, the research, and then to act according to research what you find out.
Very good. She breaks the role of victim and she performs a role of agent of peace, because she breaks the circle of violence and try to transform the conflict by peaceful means, giving a sandwich to her. So maybe this is a very good solution. It's simple and it's very good because she doesn't get any revenge. She doesn't use violence. She doesn't want to hurt her. So she tried to transform the situation, to break the chain of violence she's living in, the other girl is living in, and to transform by peaceful means. And this is very beautiful. So this is a very good example on peace education, because she, with her empowerment, her empathy, and her creativity, she tried to transform the conflict by using peaceful means. So this is what I liked about this video, because it offers us different alternatives to change situations we don't like. And sometimes it's good to break also this role of victim and to become an agent of peace from our competencies, from our experiences. So this video shows us that. So if we don't want to add anything, we can go on in the next slide, because we just have 50 minutes and we have a lot of things to discuss yet.
Doctor, I just want to ask one question about the one who saw, like I am at this part. I was watching, but I cannot interfere because sometimes it's not my culture. Maybe I interfere wrongly and make conflict for me. So what's your opinion about that?
My opinion is that for me, Mariana is an example of what we have in our hands. Look for alternative, thinking what we have in our hands to change conflicts. We can use dialogue, we can use interpellation, we can use creativity, we can use recognition to put in the other shoes. And also this is very important also to not being a victim, because sometimes being a victim doesn't change anything. So the circle of violence continue, and instead being a victim, become an active agent of peace with our empowerment, with our tools. Maybe this helps us to transform the conflict. There is no a formula, a real formula. Is just to try to put all we have in our hands, to put it in the process to overcome the conflict by peaceful means. So if we want, we can go on and we'll see more about the presentation.
Yeah, hi, Prof. I want to say that at times I want to help people if they are in problem, and they also respond and they seek help. But at times, they step back after. At times, if I've done something, I've helped them. For example, there's a domestic violence case against a woman, and she's not very educated. I make her aware about her rights. I take her to lawyer. I support her. I do everything. Then after months of helping her out, she's back with the same person, and she says, no, I don't want this. I'm okay with the bearing domestic violence, so I don't seek your help, and she rejects that. So how do we react to that?
This is very difficult question, because the ones who are having this situation, they have to want to live, to break this circle. We cannot do it from outside. We can support, we can give orientation, we can give knowledge, we can give, through dialogue, we can make them aware of the situation. But the ones who are suffering are the ones also who has to want to break this violent circle. Otherwise, it's very difficult from outside. It has to be a personal process, and sometimes it's difficult, but it takes time. But anyway, by supporting, we are doing peace culture, by supporting, by dialogue, by interpellation, but making being aware, by letting them know about other alternatives, but they have to want to leave this circle from inside, not from outside. Okay.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's not very in a deep sense because we don't have too much time, but I will leave the presentation in the website, and also you can ask me by email later about any doubt, about any author you would like to go further, or about any issue you would like to clarify. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. We have been talking about all these elements that has to be included on peace education: competencies, abilities, differences, needs, feelings, emotions, participation, inclusion, multiple intelligences, imagination, creativity, talents, recognition, freedom, respect, cooperation, equality, communication, transformation, peace. So there are many issues to be included in education in general and in peace education in particular. So let's go to the next slide. But in my research, on my PhD research, I work on these key concepts of peace education that I would like to briefly comment with you, and also some authors. For example, one key concept is recognition. Later, I will explain you this concept, because for me is the main concept to use to overcome conflicts and to educate for peace and to contribute to cultures of peace. It's a very important concept, which I learned from Axel Honneth, who is still alive. He's a philosopher, and I will explain you later with more detail. Another key concept is competencies, not competencies of competitions that you are used to learn, but competence of what are we able to do, what are we competent, and peace is our competencies, our responsibility. So I work this concept with Marina and Bernabeu, our Spanish educators. Also, a very important concept is empowerment, because sometimes we have many important ideas, many important insights, many good examples, but we need also empowerment. To put those ideas on personal and professional experiences. Also, to work with values. Education goes together with values, goes in hand with values. Also, responsibility. Other, and to be agents to transform our conflicts peaceful means. So this is very important to educate on responsibility. Also, capacity for indignation and empathy that we have seen in the 3 videos. In this capacity of indignation and empathy, I learned from Strawson. Is also very important philosopher, and I recommend it to you to read. As well, Strawson proposed change of attitudes and perspectives, because sometimes we are so focused on ourselves that we don't see the other part. And this goes together with the capacity of indignation and empathy. First of all, we have to peaceful communication. It's very important communication to transform our conflicts and to make peace. But communication, sometimes we use authoritarian communication, a violence communication, and we have to overcome and to be peaceful in the communication, be assertive, to say things, to say the truth, but without hurting the others. And I use authors like Austin, Habermas, and Rosenberg that maybe you have already learned from the previous sessions about peaceful communication or non-violent communication. Also very important concept is cooperation, the intelligence of the group in the discussion. We will get better results working in groups, working with people that working in an individual way. So it's very important the concept of cooperation. And also cooperation is also very important for transforming conflicts, because always there are at least 2 sides in a conflict. And we have to be able to cooperate with the other side if we want to transform the conflict. If we don't cooperate with the other side, we will not be able to transform the conflict by peaceful means. I use Rappaport, that he said that conflict and cooperation are the 2 sides of a coin, because we need both sides to overcome the conflict. Also, peaceful transformation of conflicts. We have to transform the conflicts by peaceful means. We cannot use violence to overcome a conflict, or we cannot exclude somebody to overcome a conflict. We have to use a meaning. We have to have this very important in mind, that there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Using peace by doing peace, by transforming conflicts. And I use a lot the Leverac, that I think you have already learned about him in the previous session. And also of this violence we are reproducing, we are involved in, and reconstruct new ways of doing things, find alternative, because we are to do it. Also, another key concept very important is positive emotions and feelings and love. Love is a very important concept that has not been taken into account with the importance it is needed in the peace arena. So we have to use love with the other, love with the colleagues, love with the classmates, love with the neighbors. Love is a very important concept, and we need love for everyday life. And sometimes we are ashamed to talk about love, and we are, it's very coarse, very stupid, but no, love is a very important concept we have to use in our daily life, with our relationship, with in a supermarket, in the school, in the jobs, in our daily life. And super important, creativity, fantasy, and hope. If we don't have creativity to look for new ways of doing things, to look for new ways of putting solutions, fantasy, to imagine, to have dreams, to have hopes. So if we don't have that, we will not able to perform new things, to transform the world. So this is very important. I use authors like Rodari, Freire, Angelica Satiro, and Robinson, and many others, but these are very important to take a look on. So we'll go to the next slide. So this, I wanted to just go deeper on the recognition concept, because I think if we will be able to recognize the others, we will have a lot of peace in the world. Because as far as I understand, the most important conflicts are because we are unable to recognize the other. Peace education from the REM approach foments the recognition of every human being as equal valid, with special attention to his race, culture, social class, or religion. Recognition is understood as a one step further or forward to tolerance, because sometimes we tolerate the others, but we don't recognize them. And recognition is that you recognize as equal valid as you. If we don't have recognition, we cannot make peace. According to the Diccionario of Maria Moliner, that I like sometimes to look the meanings, recognition is the action of recognizing, but defined as to be aware that one person or thing is precisely one determined, known and identified. The person is this person, precisely and determined. To admit that legality and authenticity. We don't have to change the others. We have to recognize them with her legality, his authenticity, his way of living, his body, and his rights, or her rights. And to recognize that certain thing or person exists and has its own value, even if it dislikes me. I recognize, even if I prefer another thing. And the next slide, please. So the recognition goes in 3 dimensions, according to Honeth. This is the author I use. According to Honeth, the 3 main types of disrespect we do the others. The first disrespect is the contempt of the body. The second, the contempt of the human rights. And the third, the contempt of the lifestyles. Therefore, the recognition of these 3 dimensions, physical, legal, and cultural, is required to overcome the culture of violence and to contribute to the cultures of peace. So we have these 3 dimensions. One is the body, because we used to exclude the others because of the body. Also, the second dimension is the legal aspects, the rights. We have the education sometimes teach us that some people have some better rights than others. And also the third dimension is on cultural aspects, lifestyles, belief, religions. So first of all is the recognition of the body, because the non-recognition of the body has a consequence, the alteration of our identity and the loss of trust in oneself. On the contrary, the recognition of the body promotes esteem, care, love, and self-trust. Second dimension, the recognition of every person on his juridical rights, legal rights. The non-recognition of this aspect provokes the loss of self-respect due to the fact that the person is considered excluded from the juridical and moral community. On the contrary, the recognition of these rights promotes identity, integration, solidarity, empathy, and self-respect. The recognition of the different lifestyles will be the third dimension. This disrespect provokes the feeling of exclusion, marginalization, and underestimation, and consequently the loss of self-esteem. Therefore, the peace education from the REM approach, I say because it's the one I studied, has to foment the construction of these three dimensions, reconstructing self-trust, self-respect, and self-esteem through the three forms of recognition proposed by Horn. So recognition, as far as I understand, is the key concept of peace education. And we have to teach since the early childhood to recognize the others in these three dimensions. Can we go on the next slide? And we will put now, before going to the methodology, we will put a video because now I want to hear to you because I'm talking to
Hey Player One, do you think to be ready for this? Join Valorant and play as one of a global...
Okay, so what have we seen in the video? What is the conflict? And always I like to talk about the conflict, but what the most important is to find out the positive aspects to overcome the conflict, to make peace. Do good and have good, as I read. See the both sides of the coin, of the image. What else? Cooperation, not judging the others, be positive.
Again, understanding the problem of others or doing the research about others before making a decision, I think, or before reacting, or after reacting, you can change your behavior after understanding the problem of others. Just like the bird has a problem, so dog has changed his reaction and action both.
Very important to find out the problem of the other and to try
and
to
then change your behavior according to the problem.
Deconstruction, reconstruction. See the invisibilized parts. This is very important. The reason behind violence, to find out, as the same in Mariana's video. What else? Responding to the situation optimistically, win-win. At the end, if you give your best, the good comes back to you. Win-win. Love, compassion. If you do good, you will get good. I'm sure about that. Compassion. Peace is the way. We have seen many of the aspects. We have been talking about the aspects of peace. Avoid prejudices, competencies to do new things, cooperation, peaceful communication, and then recognition. I wanted to come out, like you said, recognition of the other. When the little dogs see the birds who are hungry, they recognize they need, they right, and so they change their attitude. Analyzing, we have also to do research, to try to know things, to find out what is the problem, what is the conflict, what is the roots, no? To understand the situation. And when we understand, we are able to do many new things. Okay. Okay, so we'll go on because the methodology, as we have been already talking, is focused on the deconstruction, reconstruction approach. In education, learning is important, but unlearning as well. To deconstruct our bad learning, what we have been doing not very good. Sometimes when I do things that I really don't like, when I go to bed, I have something in myself which is telling me you could do things in another way. So this is the thing. If you could do things in another way, you have to do it. You are responsible to do it. So to deconstruct what our bad learning in order to reconstruct a new educational paradigm which should be capable to teach us how to make peace by using our daily habits and personal experience. This is the main clue, the main aspect, is to deconstruct and reconstruct. There is no any formula, as I told you before, and any stereotype response to a conflict. It's just to try and to put our best will to overcome conflicts by peaceful means. And if we do sometimes not very good things because we had a bad day, we can have alternative to say sorry and to do things in another way the following day or 2 days later. So we always have alternative to overcome our conflicts. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I will read very fast because we don't have too much time, but you will have the presentation so you can take a look later. for example, in the deconstruction in the school system, what can we deconstruct? Relationships, deconstruct vertical hierarchy into horizontal relations, recognize all human beings as valid interlocutors, reciprocal and autonomous learning. In the contents, review the school curricula in order to deconstruct the types of violence, exclusion of other cultures and religion, gender roles, and also to include sentimental co-education. In the methodologies, we have to deconstruct rote learning, evaluation just through exams, because this generates exclusion. The methodology cannot be competitive, and so on. And the context, deconstruct closed, authoritarian, and oppressive context for those more democratic, open, flexible, and free, and respectful. So go on to the next slide. And reconstruction. We can reconstruct more analytical, reflexive, and practical learning. Horizontal communication, breaking with this relation of expert and apprentice, because we are all experts and we are all apprentices. We are learning from each other. The methodology is based in mutual dialogue and active participation. This is so important. And it's inclusive and socio-emotional. We cannot leave aside emotions and feelings because this is part of human beings. And we have to include in the daily education the socio-emotional aspect. Autonomous and critical thinking. We don't have to indoctrinate to have a unique way of thinking, but also to promote critical thinking, autonomous, and creative thinking, of course. Also to teach responsibility, commitment, and positive discipline to be good citizens. Personal and social transformation. We are agents of personal and social transformation. We are transforming ourselves along our life and also transforming the world. And reconstruct cooperation, solidarity, and goodwill. The next slide, please. And the context, as we have said, we have to create cultures of peace. We have to unlearn the culture of war, sometimes we are living in, which is the consequence of not recognizing the otherness, and learn cultures of peace from our daily experiences through formal, informal, and non-formal education. We can learn the cultures of peace through recognition and peaceful interpellation. Interpellation is very good, but in a peaceful way, with a non-violent communication. We have to be able to contribute to a more peaceful coexistence from our personal and daily experiences. In order to learn how to make peace, other kind of logic, fairer, positive, and hopeful, is proposed by using creativity, imagination, and fantasy. Now we'll see the last video because I have two, but I think we have no time to see the two videos. I will put it, we'll see the sixth video, the sixth. The next one. This is very good. It's about communication, but as you see a lot of communication already. No, this no.
Bukan yang video ini. Tekan nomor 6.
This is change.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
Thank you.
Is it this one, Sophia?
Very good.
Yeah, okay.
Access a la temperatura.
Digging clock to cure away inside every minute means a day. I hope you're walking in the sun. Hope you're going to be someone. Here I am along my way. I always dreamed that one day I would find you on my way. Maybe one day, maybe today.
So in this last video, the same discussion. What are the conflicts, the violence we see, but what are the positive aspects we can have in our hands to overcome the situation? This is what we want to highlight in this session. So please, I would like to listen to your voices.
Any comments?
Any comments? Are you tired? I know. It's just 10 minutes left.
I think what I see in this video, people are stuck in their words or in their boundaries. So if we want to bring two type of words together, we have to break our boundaries.
Of course.
But I see that people are breaking their boundaries to help or to motivate other person.
Very good, Tuba.
Thank you.
What else we have seen? Any comments, any feedback?
For me, we need to be the initiator. We need to initiate. Sometimes we need to initiate. Yeah.
This is important to have this empowerment. We are talking about to be agent, to be active, to initiate. Because if we don't do anything, we will not change anything.
True.
Be the fosterer of peace. Very good. What else? Teamwork works better. We need the others. We need to work together to change the situations we don't like.
I found it interesting in this world, the people are living on the rail.
Yeah.
And then they are moving along the rail. However, it was actually easy to break out of the rail. So that was interesting to me.
It's a very good point, because sometimes you are in a rail and you don't realize you can get away from it. You are reproducing this routine, your daily routine, and you don't do anything to break. And sometimes it's not as difficult as you think. Maybe you need to have an example, and when the first person break, the others see that there is alternative and start breaking.
Yeah.
So this is important on peace education, to break violence, to break change, and to look for different alternatives.
Can I?
Yes, of course.
I think this video explains that hurdles are not permanent. We can eradicate hurdles and we can create our own way so that the people can, follow us and we can have a change in our society.
Very good. Sometimes we need a leader, a peace leader, but we are all leaders. We are all able to be peace leaders. But we need this empowerment, and I hope this session help us to encourage ourselves to do small changes, that at the end, the small changes become big changes. So what time is it? So let's go to the last conclusion slide.
Yang paling akhir. Conclusion. Yeah.
Peaceful. Promote an educational approach based on the idea of learning by doing, including arts, creativity, and talent. Develop critical, creative, and ethical thinking. The aims of education: learn to know, to do, to be, and to coexist. I took these aims from Jacques Delors, who wrote an article for UNESCO. It's called "The Education is a Treasure," and empowers people to be agents of social transformation and contribute to the cultures of peace. So those are the conclusions I wanted to arrive in this session. And at the end, I put like an image, the last slide, I put an image of Freire, which I love it, in the last slide, which says that education doesn't change the world, but change the people who will change the world. The last slide, please. If you like Freire, for me is one of the most important educators in the world. So the education doesn't change the world, but change the people who will change the world. And I hope we will be these people who can, all of us, we can change our world little by little by doing peaceful transformation. So this is my presentation of today. I'll try to be very good on the timing. And I enjoy very much sharing with you. I wish I had more time to get to know each other much better, because I really, I'm sure we can learn a lot from each other, and we can do many things from our daily experiences. So thank you for listening to me and to give me the opportunity to share with you this session.
Thank you, Dr. Sophia.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Participants, I have known Sophia, as I mentioned, for quite a number of years, since 2008. And when I introduced Sophia just now, I said that we have developed, formed a very close friendship. Yes. And do you know that this is the first time I'm actually listening to Sophia give a talk after all these years? And all I can say is, wow, Sophia.
Yeah.
Absolutely wow. So, thank you so much for, giving us your time and, coming to, yes, we love each other. And so just to finish off and to connect what Sophia has just presented so brilliantly with what we have been covering so far. So I think it should be quite clear to you, all of you participants, that there is a theme that is running through all these different sessions. So I touched a bit about this, that what we are providing for you is like a toolbox with all the different concepts, all the different ways of looking at, and the destination is peace. And what I also mentioned to you is that this is like a journey that we are going, step by step. As I mentioned yesterday, in Malay, we say sedikit sedikit, lama lama jadi bukit. So Sophia, that's little at a time. At the end, it will become a hill, a mountain. So we gradually, we built on this. So in this journey, earlier today, I said that we are taking this journey and we are on this path towards peace. But this journey is also, as an environmentalist, I'm going to say to you that this journey is also like a trek in the forest. We are walking through the forest gradually. And for those of you who are lovers of the forest, as I am, you will find that the forest is an amazing place to go to, in the sense that when you walk, every little nook and corner, you will come across something that is absolutely magnificent. It's amazing. And with this kind of amazing beauty of nature, this is like our journey today. So we are actually walking through in our course slowly, and at each point we stop, take it slowly, and we stop and we admire the wonderful aspect of journey. The forest is like the cathedral of nature, and every little part of the forest will come together. And tomorrow, you have the morning off, so you can sort of sit back and reflect what has been a very tiring few days for all of you, and the last 2 days in particular, with 2 sessions in a day. And then tomorrow in the afternoon, we will complete this toolbox that we have been talking about. And this is to do with, Sophia touched about violence, structural, the culture of violence. We talked about the physical and all these different types of violences that, Johan Galtung had touched on. But tomorrow we will have the Gandhian perspective from Vedabas, talking about the non-violent forms of communication. And this, I think, will be quite instructive for you, once again, in terms of practice. And then you have the weekend to rest. And then next week, we will do what I would consider to be the outliers of peace studies. These are all the side kinds of stories that you may not have come across. In a forest, when you're walking through the paths, sometimes you take a different path away, a different track away from the main track. And so next week, we're going to go through all these different tracks that will take you off to different sorts of parts of the forest. And at the end of this course, you will say the beauty of the forest. They're not just trees or woods, but they all come together to form this forest of love and this forest of peace. And finally, Mas Ari. So thank you so much, Sophia.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Okay, Sophia, on behalf of the ICCTP organizing team, we like to say many thanks to you for the fruitful discussion, and also for the participant for consistently engaging with the discussion. I can see, although we are 8 hours already having a session, but you can see that all participants, they are very active, asking questions, commenting on your points now, because I think the peace education is very interesting topic to discuss, and also the points you made is just motivating them to discuss a lot about this, and the videos as well. So again, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay happy, and also for the participants, tomorrow we'll have class session starting at 2 p.m. Yeah, we'll open 15 minutes before 2 p.m. Then, yeah, see you soon tomorrow. Bye-bye. We'll have...
Just wait, Sophia.